Does it look like we've gone live, people?
Yes, it's live.
Nice. I just got a notification. So here we go.
I've been fixing tires since I was little, and you never know what you're gonna find stuck in a tire. I've had people shoot tires. I've had every kind of nail in the world in a tire. I had a 16 penny nail go in head first straight into a tire. But the weirdest thing I think I ever found in a tire, guy came in, well, the tire was broken down. It'd been in his shed for a while, and he wanted to take that old bad tire off and put a newer tire on. So I got it on the machine and took the tire off, and I carried it over and set it down. And as I turned around to walk back, something caught my eye, and I looked back, and there was a 3-foot long chicken snake live in that tire. It crawled out, and we herded it out toward the woods. I was like, well, that's the first time I've never seen that in a tire before.
That's great.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? So I want to just
Good.
say hello and welcome to Drive Facebook Live. My name is Tony Whistler, and we have a great co-host with us today, Carl Weiss, and a
Hello.
great couple of guests. That little cold open was my friend Wes Cole. He's a new social media influencer, and also the owner of Cole's in Van Cleve, Mississippi, along with his sister Deanna Eure, who is also the co-owner of the shop. And we were going to talk to them today about all things social media, but also how the shop's going and how it's going, with the dynamic of being a brother and sister team and all of that. So, hey guys, how's it going?
Great.
Hey, how you
Very
doing?
good. And you're doing okay, Carla?
I'm doing great. Love that clip. That is so funny. Of course, I would not have liked to experience such things. I'd rather stay away from snakes, no matter how nice they are.
I don't even know what a long chicken snake is. It sounds like the title of a blues song to me.
Hey, Tony,
could
there
write
you
that.
go. Your next song.
That's your next song, Tony.
Trust me, I've been thinking about it.
See you on Spotify. It's on
So,
Spotify, yeah.
I'm not sure, have we ever had you on the show before, Wes? I know we've had Deanna on a couple of times, but have you ever been on our show?
No, sir, I've never been on it. My first chance, I guess.
Ooh.
Well, I am so happy to have you.
Hmm.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you, a little bit about the shop? We'll let you start it off, Wes. Go, tell us just in a little bit about you, the shop, the city. I guess you don't live in a city, you live in a town, but
Well, we our dad started the shop in 1973, so he died in 1996, and Deanna and I have been running it ever since. Uh, it's a 6-bay garage. We just got our third red light in town, so it's kind of a small town. I know, been knowing everybody, anytime I go into town, I know everybody, but it's gotten to where in the last just 10 years or so, it's growing up where I don't recognize people like I used to. But, let's see, we was, uh, I'm stuttering, I'm sorry.
that's fine.
I was trying to think of a good story to tell. Well, me and Deanna was always co-owners. So co-owners, and we was always kind of butting heads because she was in the office and I was a mechanic out in the shop. And y'all actually taught me that the office is supposed to worry about the customer's concerns, and the shop is supposed to worry about the car's concerns. But as an owner, I was always concerned about the customer's concern in the shop, and I think that made a lot of hassle between me and her. We was always butting heads, and finally, y'all told us, look, you only need to have one boss, not two. So she became the owner, and I changed back down to manager. So when we did that, we quit arguing near as much as we used to.
Very good. Very
And she's
good.
my older sister, so I had to give her a little bit of deference to do that. So
Oh, you have to. She's your older sister. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to
but I'm
listen to
starting
to your elders, right?
Yeah, but
That's
I was
right.
starting to look younger than you. That's why we retired you.
Yeah,
Wearing out.
and in all honesty, uh, this is the only job I ever had. I started working here when I was like 12. I was still going to school, but I've been working here. It's the only job I ever had, and I was just getting wore out. I mean, I told her, I finally made a football analogy. I said, I feel like I'm the fullback, and anytime we got to make a first down, then I get the ball and I run the first down, and I'm just wore out. I can't do it no more. And she saw it in my face and said, best thing for you to do is retire. And it's been very good for me. I've I never I had we had an old mean old mechanic that used to work for us back then. I was his like direct supervisor, and that's probably what did it. He took a toll out on me. I will say this: when we first signed up with Jive, very first time we ever signed up, that was in '98. Somebody told us, "Don't be afraid of your techs." And then we had finally hired the best tech I ever worked in my life. He was real good. We was making tons of money with him, but we should have fired him a long time ago. And I think that's what finally pushed me on into retirement. I just couldn't handle it no more. Dealing with him every day, you know.
No, I get it. I get it. So does he still work there or not?
He lasted about, because I was his direct supervisor, and I told Dan, I said, when I leave, somebody's gonna have to be holding their thumb down on him. So she turned that job over to her husband.
Delegate, delegate.
She delegated to her husband, and I guess this ain't gonna hurt. I'm telling the truth, I ain't lying. She told me I had to come up there because she had to send John home. She was afraid he was gonna kill that guy. So, I came
Oops.
back up here, and we got rid of him, and I stayed around there for a while, and we got some new guys, and we actually took Drive's advice and tried to make a team, and we have a pretty good team now. So everybody gets
Awesome.
along with each other, and
Mhm.
we have a lot of redundancy. So we got one person that can do this, but if for some reason don't show up, then somebody else can do it. So that's been a blessing for us, me and Deanna both, to not have to be sitting here everything day to day, day to day, day to day. So that's been real nice.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So
Hey,
just
we
to
have
keep the analogy going, now that you're basically doing story time with Wes Cole, which you can find on YouTube, story time with Wes Cole. Now you've moved from being a fullback who has to run the ball every down to the wussy wide receiver who you can't even like touch unless it's the NFL really protects those guys. So that's your job now. You're the wide
No, I
receiver.
think
Is
he's
that it?
like the announcer. I think it's more like
He's like up, he's
like
up in the
like the
booth.
guys that yeah, exactly. They're
He's
the
the
guys that
kicker,
talk
man.
about, oh, he should have kicked something, and I don't know what he was doing, and
Like
Yeah.
like John Madden.
Usually for the kicker, when we have a
exactly.
problem, he's my consultant. I said, I got a guy that I can bring in to look
Yeah.
at the specific problem, but he's very expensive.
Exactly.
Very
He's very, very
expensive.
much so.
We have
So
a lot of
Deanna,
guys
oh, go on, Carla.
watching.
Sorry.
We have a lot of
Who's
guys
that?
watching. We have
Yeah,
Mark
Mark
Granum from
Granum
Mobile Mark. Hi,
and
Mark. And
Good to
we have
see
TJ.
you.
Elvin from Greg's Automotive in Lafayette, California. And then we have Jesus Vargas.
Jesus,
He's
one
an
of my favorite
instructor
people in the
as
world.
well. So, hi, Jesus.
Hey there,
Yay.
Jesus.
So, Deanna, go ahead, Tony. I really
Yeah.
interrupted you.
Yeah.
But
So you can just repudiate everything that was said now if you want. We're gonna give you all the time you need to just say no.
You want my
tell us
version of what
tell us
happened.
your
Oh, I
version of the
got
story.
Nah. Oh, Wes is a fine man. He's one of the finest men I've ever known. And he's been pulling wrenches. He's been at the shop since he was like probably 9 or 10, but he's been pulling wrenches since he was 15. And so he's got about 45 years on the floor. And I was starting to watch him just melt. And I just said, I'm not gonna explain to Mama why he croaked at the shop pulling wrenches. So I told him, I said, you gotta go. You gotta go. So, and of course I tricked him because I let him go for about 4 months and then I sucked him back in. But when he came back in, I told him, I said, look, you've been telling these stories and they're I mean, if you've seen any of them, you know, they're just, and I've heard all of them a dozen times, but I said, let's go ahead and just start recording them. And I have my grandson, Hunter Bickham, who is awesome. And he
He's a
filmed.
film student, right? Or
He
he's a
is.
film guy?
He's got 3 films that he's out, and you can get one of them on YouTube. It's called Interfere. Little plug there for Hunter.
Nice.
But he films them. He just did a commercial for us. As a matter of fact, that came out, I think, today. called Don't Be That Guy. But I told Wes, I said, let's record these stories. I said, because they're really cool. And the only thing I wanted to do is give him something to do, number one. And they're really great stories. So I thought we'll just record them. Well, the little sucker took off, and he's got followers in Australia and Bosnia and all over the world now. So we're just playing with it. It'll last as long as it lasts. But his stories are usually, he sits down, it's a one take, hey Wes, tell me about a Coca-Cola can, and he'll go, and then he just rattle off a story. So they're all organic,
It
all
is so
all
great.
Wes. He's like I said, he's a good man. He's a good man. He's a fabulous brother. He's a good man. But he needed to go.
He's a
Oh,
good man outside the shop.
Yeah.
yeah, there you
And
go.
he's a great consultant because I make good money off of bringing him in to consult.
So how's the shop doing? Tell us a
Doing
little bit
good.
about that.
Doing good. December was tough. I think it was tough on everybody on the earth, but it's doing good. We got a great team. We have a shop manager, Austin. He's just a force of nature. We've got two service advisors, Tiffany and Kara, and they work very well together. Two girls working well together, imagine that. And I have Tavis, he is my shop foreman, which he's kind of like my Wes. He takes care of the shop and makes sure everything's moved. And then we have three techs, Mike, Ray, and Jacob. So that's the biggest team we've never had that many, have we, Wes? That's the
No,
biggest
that's the
team we've
most,
ever put together.
most we've ever
And
had at one time.
And let me tell y'all, for those of you who can't hire, I can't find anybody, all this kind of stuff. Let me tell you how we did this. So I just made a decision, and I pulled all of my old applications out from 2000, 2001, kind of the COVID era. And I just pulled everything out of the file cabinet, and I just started making phone calls, and these people were answering the phone and the text. I told them, they said, how much you paying? I said, I'm $25 an hour. I said, and they said, we're going to come in for an interview. So they would come in for an interview, and I talked to Austin, and he says, you seriously still have my application? I said, absolutely. And he said, well, so we set up an interview, and ended up, so I hired a shop manager, a shop foreman, and three technicians in like a 10-day period. Just boom. I just made a decision. I said, this is what I'm gonna do. Now, a couple of technicians didn't work out. They were good people, but they just didn't work out what I needed. And I ended up getting some more in. But it sounds so, I'm not trying to make it simplistic, but I just made a decision. I need some people to work. Come in. And we got them in there, and we just started making things happen, and they're just rocking and rolling. So I'm thrilled with them. I'm here having fun with y'all.
That's
Cool.
great. Yeah, well, it's like you said, like a decision is a pretty powerful thing.
So
Once you decide.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Darn. Once you decide, you can finish your sentence.
No, I was just going to
You
say
left
that
us
once you
hanging.
have once you have made a decision, that's 90% of it. You have to roll up your sleeves and get some work done, but it's just everything I've ever tried to do, it started with that decision.
On that,
so
on that
Very
same
true.
note, we as long as I can ever remember, because we're up in a small town. It's not like we're people just, lots of applications. And so we would always, seems to me like looking back, you would hire somebody, and even if you knew right off the bat they weren't going to be what you needed, you would try and just keep them, and because where am I going to find somebody else? So we put up with a lot of crap that we probably shouldn't have put up with. And this time around, like she said, we hired, I can't even remember how many. It must have been 3 or 4 that we eliminated in the first week. So now they ain't gonna work. That's not what we're looking for. And we stuck to our guns and got what we were looking for, and here we are. It's a whole lot better now than it would have been if we had just saved that first guy. As well, he's not that great, but we can work around him. So
Right.
So I have a question for Wes. So a lot of people, they when they think about retirement, they kind of freak out because, what are they going to do? And they won't have a place to go to work, and, a place to get up to. So how was it for you? Did you have like like a sticker shock or
Yeah, and I'm the wrong person to be asking because I was reading a book. The name of the book is "Eat That Frog," and in
Oh
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
part, there's 7 things that they tell you you should do if you want to be successful, I guess. And I started reading them, and I'm doing every one of them except for the very first one, and it says decide what you want to do. And that has
Mm.
still to this day, I have not really decided what it is I want to do. But I, 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 I
Tell them
really
about
ought
the
to go.
notebook. Tell them about the notebook.
Yeah, you talking about
The big old yellow
the big
pad.
old yellow one? Yeah. Well,
Oh,
that was a long time ago. I had a big old clipboard. I was a Back then, we had a couple businesses going. I was running the car lot and helping with the shop and all that kind of stuff. But I had a lot of stuff in my head, and I would always forget something. So I got me a big old clipboard with one of them big legal pads on it, and I'd
Mhm.
write down everything that I needed to do, and that really helped me a lot. But every time I turn around, I go to pick up my clipboard, and the darn pad would be missing. I said, "Who got the pad?" Oh, nobody knows. I'm trying to find it. So I'll get me another pad and I start over. And then just about time I get it all like I want a week or so later, my pad's missing again. So I took a tire crayon and I took the yellow pad off and I put the clipboard there and I wrote, whoever took this yellow pad off, I said, if I find out who took this yellow pad off of this clipboard, I will fire you. Signed, Wes. Never had it missing again.
It sounds
That's
like
funny.
somebody's going to like put together your memoirs maybe and publish it as a book. Keep stealing
All
your
the
notepads
things,
and then
yeah, all the things that Wes used to do. But so
Wes.
what was like your first day after you didn't have to go to work? I mean, how was that like?
I, I I have about 5 acres of land. There's a lot
Uh-huh.
of work need to be done around there, and I wanted to build me a new little shed on the side of my big shed, and I did a lot that way to keep busy. I stayed busy, 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 doing work around the house, and then about the time I got through with all that was about the time we ended up firing that mechanic. So I came back to work for a little while, and this time when I left, it felt like really because I knew in the back of my mind they was going to end up firing that mechanic. So I never really tried to think of anything else to do. Just stayed busy.
because you
And
knew you'd
but
be back.
I knew I would be back. I just knew it in my back of my mind. I knew I'd be back. And now this time I feel like is I really actually am retired.
Beautiful.
And my only problem now is my wife, see, she retired from the state 7 or 8 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. And she was off for 1 month and we hired her here to be our bookkeeper. So
Yep.
now I'm retired and she's still working. And she does not like it one bit.
Like, how did that happen?
She's like, wait a
Hey,
minute.
So we have some more people watching. It's Ned Bergen. I think that's it pronounced Libby Jin and
nice.
BBY Rogers.
Bobby
Bobby
Rogers over,
Rogers.
Bobby,
So
he's over on Spring Hill in Alabama there, Wes. That's far
there
in
we
Nesta.
go.
He
There
wanted,
we
I
there
go.
you
think he
go.
wanted to know how I moved on those people so fast. And I'll talk to you about it later, Bobby.
Hey, I think it's time for a commercial break.
Yay.
All right.
So,
So go ahead.
you want to take it, Carla, or you want me to take it?
You can take it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So next Friday, February 13th, we have a very special show. It's going to be owners and their managers. And we're going to have Marlene Reyes of Manny Euro Auto Service
Yeah.
and Chris Graham, the general manager of that shop. And we're also going to have Adam Jadovich, the owner of A&M Automotives, and his manager, Brittany Hemphill. And that is going to be a great show because they're going to talk about their relationship with each other. And it should be very informative. And then, of course, you can't forget that we have our expo is set. What's the dates on that again, Carla? I'm gonna like throw it over to you for the date. September. I don't have it.
September 24th to 26th. So that's a Thursday through Saturday.
Correct.
So you can fly back on Sunday.
That's
And
going to be great.
September. And it's going to be at Las
Westgate.
Vegas, Westgate.
Westgate.
So that'll be
Yes.
great.
So you get to party
Also,
again.
you
Great.
can go and sign up for the workshop through driveshops.com. When you get there, you can go to the expo, and then there's a place where you can register to go, and that'll be great. Also, I just want to add one more little thing while we're doing the commercial. We've added our beautiful catalog of all of our master workshops onto the
Good.
website too. So if you go to the Drive University, you can find it and you can see all of our master workshops. And I only bring that up because I want to talk to Deanna a little bit about what she's doing, because she's basically in semi-retirement as well. The shop pretty much runs, so she has a lot of time on her hands, and she's an instructor for Drive.
Mhm.
She instructs workshops for the events area, and tell us a little bit about that experience, because you've been doing it now for how long? About 2 years now, or a little longer, maybe?
About 2 years now. Doing Essentials of Shop Management, which is for people who are new to Drive, and it's a big program with a lot of information. It can be overwhelming, but it's so important. So I'm really enjoying that, and I have people who have gone through the master program that are come back to Essentials of Shop Management just to kind of go through it one more time and make sure that they're doing everything, because it literally has everything that you need to have your eyes on. It's essentials for shop management. So, it's got a lot of information in it. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying getting to know the shop owners. Bobby, several of the people that you mentioned were in some of my essentials of shop management classes, and it's just so great to see them pick up the information and rise. And that's what they do. They really just take their shop to the next level. And we did it. Wes and I did it. I remember when we signed, what was that, 99, Wes, that we went out to California, because we just had to fly out and take the classes. And to be able to do them on Zoom now is just, I love the in person. I really do. But what we want to do is get everybody, once you get the essential shop management and I suggest everybody get on the master program. Wes, remember when we first heard about the master program, we thought, oh, that's for those big shops. We don't need anything there. So, but come to find out, it was for us. It's for every shop. If you got a small shop, you got a huge shop. It is a path to success, and it's got all the information in it. Wes, remember when we went to California? This was in 99, and our labor rate was like $35 an hour. Well, we'd always been doing it like that. So it didn't occur to us to do anything different. And of course, we were going around the room. There was 120 people up in there, and they were going around naming their shop and what their labor rate was. And I think the lowest one in the room was $65. So Wes stood up and said, well, I'm Wes Cole. This is my sister Deanna. We're from Van Cleve, and I think the first thing we'll do when we go back is raise our labor rate.
That's awesome. Hey,
Good plan.
Tony, before we move on, there's a couple of things that I miss Bob and John from Foreign and Domestic Auto Care.
Yeah.
And then Jesus says Deanna is one of the best instructors. So
And I
kudos,
agree.
Deanna. Libby says I'm learning a lot in her class this week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and the
And
other
I have
thing
one other
is,
thing to mention.
yeah, go ahead. Rescue.
Because we have a webinar that's going to happen next Wednesday with RescueNet, and it's a 1-hour webinar with the company RescueNet, which they're a great company, and they're going to do this educational webinar on their services and the value of being able to keep your shop connected. And that also can be signed up for at the website, our website, driveshops.com. And I'm certain that we'll put the link somewhere in the chat. Anything else you wanted to add, Carla, that we might have left out of the spot?
No, but I just want to a little bit of the rescue net. If you haven't heard of that, if you ever had your internet, if you ever lost your internet or electricity, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
really want to go to that webinar because, you know, the time that you are down is costing you a lot of money. And from my perspective, it's a very good deal. So it's worth finding out about it.
Yeah. Chris
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Props, who is a master shop, she has that, and she's in Denver when it snows, and she said she
Mhm.
couldn't believe it since she's been with them. She hasn't lost, she forgot about those times when you lose electricity. She said, I just kind of forgot about it because we just don't.
Don't
Yeah,
lose,
it's
don't
very
lose
true.
anymore. That's
It's
great.
very
And
true.
Chris is great too. She's one of our instructors as well. She runs a great shop, a master shop, and I'm glad to hear that it's working good for her. So if you're interested, please come to the webinar. Okay, so I want to talk about the expo a little bit, guys. Do you, Wes, you're going to make it out to the expo this year?
Yeah, I'm my schedule's pretty free right now, so I probably can't.
You are retired, so there's no excuses. I don't.
Mhm.
And then you're, of course, you will be there as well, right, Deanna?
Yeah, yeah. Wes, remember the first few that we went to? It's amazing. This is a thing about Drive. This is a thing about the Drive community, the Drive family, the company, if you will. They are on the front edge of just about everything automotive when it comes to technology, when it comes to trends, when it comes to hiring, when it comes to just almost anything, business management. And they always have some of the best speakers. We were there, oh gosh, it's been 10, 12 years ago now, but they were speaking on millennials. You know, and you think
Mhm.
whatever, but I mean, we didn't know what a millennial was or how they operate or what they think or whatever. And it was just this very wonderful presentation on who, you know, what's coming down the pipe with people, because those are our customers. And if you don't understand who they are, where they're coming from, you're not able to give them the service that they expect, because you're servicing a whole nother generation of people. And it just really keeps you in the loop of what's happening. And then with the electric vehicles, we had someone come in and speak on electric vehicles and stuff. So they really have the best, they have their finger on the pulse, period.
Very nice.
That's what I got.
That makes me think of something. Do you guys ever see any electric cars in the town you're in, like a Tesla or anything like that?
Wes?
There's some people who owns Teslas in our town. We haven't come in here yet. We have changed out some hybrid batteries on a few Toyotas and things like that.
Mhm.
But
Or like a Nissan Leaf or something of that nature?
yes, sir. But we
Well,
haven't. It's like I say, it's a kind of a small town. They ain't quite caught on down here like they have some places.
we're starting to see them. They're around, and of course we're just north of Ocean Springs, which is a really it's a very tourist town, and there's a lot of, you know, that type thing down there. So yeah.
And how close are you to that town?
What is it, 9 miles as a crow flies?
It's on the coast. We're just north of them.
Yeah.
No, that's
No, I
not too
guess it'd be
bad.
about 18 miles as the crow flies. Yeah. So
Yeah.
straight line. You have
So
to
for
drive it by
people
the
in the
road.
South, I think the line of demarcation between being a small town and turning it into a city is that there's a Waffle House in the town.
Yeah, we don't have a Waffle House.
That's the moment that they become a city.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a Waffle Town, I see.
The
We
Waffle
got
House.
3 traffic lights. And back when I was in high school, in the first traffic, well, it wasn't even a traffic light, it was a caution light. So it would blink at this intersection. And so Friday night after the football game, the thing was drive down the road with your 22 pistol, you know, rifle out the window and see if you could knock out the light at speed. Not me.
Our, our first red
Okay,
light.
come
our
on
fir-
now.
So
Well,
what is
what-
the future called?
Wes would say something. What?
Oh,
the
sorry,
the first red light that we got is right beside our shop right up here.
Yeah.
A kid took a 12 gauge shotgun and shot the lights out and the unit. But he
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
my
remember that.
gosh.
caught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that was
did,
the last time
Wow.
anybody shot any lights out. He probably got in pretty bad trouble.
Yeah, I bet.
yeah.
So what's
And
the
then, but I'm
future called?
guessing.
You got what? Go ahead.
Go. Sorry, Carla. Go.
No, you go.
I'm
You finish
guessing
your
that,
thought.
when you put a traffic light in right next to your shop, then it immediately becomes prime real estate,
Mhm.
and you're like, it's like boardwalk on the Monopoly board
Oh, yeah.
because you're right near the traffic light.
It makes it easy to give directions how to get here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it
you-
isn't like a lot of people that say, hey, just go to the road that has the old tire next to it and then turn left. Now you can actually say something that's like could potentially be there for a while. Although clearly it was destroyed at one point by somebody with a gun, but you still.
Livy Jean says no Waffle House in my town.
I understand what you're talking about, girl.
Ron Parrish is also from Topforce in the house, he says.
In the house.
In the
Yeah.
house. I
Yeah.
want to know, we're running out of time here, actually, we're out of time,
Uh-oh.
but we won't talk about it. But I want to know the future. Where are we going from here forward? For you
Wes,
guys, for the
where
two of
you
you.
going?
Well, we're me and Dan's talked a little bit. We're kind of hoping that our manager, he's really something else. He might take it off our hands or rent it from us or something like that. I don't have any. I have one daughter. Deanna doesn't have any kids. I have one daughter, and she said if she gets the shop, she's going to turn it into a coffee house. So,
And an espresso bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there was a sandwich shop or a restaurant next to it or something. I kind of
Yang-
remember there was a story, right?
Yang's Kitchen. Well, we had the burger, the Cole's Drive-In. We had Cole's Drive-In for 30 something years, and I finally had to. It was either that or the shop, so I shut the food joint down. Bleh. And people still want Cole's Drive-In hamburgers, burger baskets. But and then a few years later, well, I guess about 8 years later, the Chinese showed up and opened up a Chinese restaurant next door. And I told them, I said, you did look up and down the highway, right? You know where you are. And they said, yeah. And they're doing good. And so the little couple that have it now, it's Yang's Kitchen, and just a sweet, sweet couple. And they got two beautiful little daughters, and they're running it and doing a good job. And they got some great food. If you're in the area, come by Yang's Kitchens, get some food. It's good and hot and
Nice.
fresh. And yeah. Good
Very
stuff.
cool. Okay, well, I think we're up against it.
We
think we're up
are.
against the time.
We went
You
too
guys are so great
fast.
to have on the show. You guys are always great to have on the show. Any last words from either of you before we call it a day?
You need to invite Wes out to the expo and let him be one of the, let him do a little
Speakers?
show.
I don't think so. I'm too scared.
I'd love to have story time. We should put it into the expo. Those who are listening, we should have story time with Wes at the expo.
Oh, Wes, he keeps trying to retire.
We'll get a
back
circle.
in.
We'll just put a circle and you can just we just throw down like you do in libraries, with the kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Thank y'all
So I
much
think we're
for
done,
having me.
folks.
Thanks for
Thank y'all
having
so
me.
much.
Kind
That
of
was
done.
fun.
Thanks, guys, for being here. Really appreciate it. Until next Friday, have a great week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.